Hello my friends, my name is Orpheus and I'll be your captain this evening. This is my guide on the newest adventure in the Sea of Thieves, The Forsaken Hunter. I'm going to show you everything you need to complete this adventure, as well as where to find all 5 of the journals so you can complete all of the commendations and get all the rewards. Now our story begins, as all good stories do, at a tavern. This time, Lorena doesn't have a favor to ask, but she does have some exposition to drop on us.
Thanks for coming to me. I'm asking everyone I meet if they've seen Merrick around lately. He vanished from his usual fishing spot and hasn't been seen since. Maybe it's nothing and he'll turn up with a belly full of grog. But something has me worried. Here, I wrote down the last place he was seen. There might be a clue to where he is now. Merrick's done so much to help us all. If he's missing, we should do everything we can to bring him home. Good hunting, pirate!
Once we've got our marching orders from Lorena, we're going to receive a note in our quest radial. And that note's going to tell us the first place we should start is Stephen's Spoils. That's where Merrick normally sets up shop, even though he's gone missing of late. Now, I'll give you fair warning, there will be some spoilers in this walkthrough. I'm trying to avoid as many as possible, but in some cases, as you'll see, it's just not possible. So, buyer beware. Now, once we get to Stephen's Spoils, we don't take very long to figure out that things are not as they were. Merrick is completely vanished. Everything seems to be largely in place, but what's this? A letter from Merrick? Well, it's only right that we should pick up and read somebody else's mail. The letter indicates that we're looking for land halfway between Shipwreck Bay and Hidden Spring. Now, if you've looked at the map very long in Sea of Thieves, you know this is K9, the uncharted island with the beautiful dog. Approaching the island, we see a familiar light. And yes, we recognize that figure up on the beach there. That's Belle, with her signature lantern and fashion sense to go along with it. Belle doesn't seem surprised at all to see us.
There's no time to waste. Ah, we meet again. Let me guess. You're also here hunting for Merrick. The truth will be difficult to accept. When you're sure you're ready to hear it, return to me, and I'll show you what I discovered.
And once she's given us a bit more story, she'll ask us to talk to her again. At which point, we'll receive the next part of our quest. Belle explains to us that in order to solve the mystery of Merrick's disappearance, we'll need to find the origin of this masked stranger, and their whereabouts as well.
That mask. I suspect this is their journal.
In order to help us out with this, Belle has a couple of gifts. Her trusty lantern, of course, and a tattered journal that seems to have some writings that may have come from the masked stranger. Taking a look at the first of these pages, we see a familiar island. Something about an underground river. Well, it doesn't take us very long to figure out that that means Wanderer's Refuge. Approaching Wanderer's Refuge, we'll want to land on the north beach. When we do, and raise Belle's lantern, we'll find a memory of the masked stranger as they disembark their rowboat and head into the interior of the island. Now, if you've ever done a tall tale, you'll recognize this glowing trail of footprints that we'll need to follow in order to find our next clue. We need to make sure that we stop here at this little wooden structure on the left-hand side of our path before we go through the island, because this is where we'll find a memory of the stranger writing in her journal, as well as the first physical journal that we'll need to complete all the commendations in this adventure. There are 5 of these in total. We continue to follow the footsteps across the island. And eventually we'll come to that underground river and this strange crevice that leads into the interior of the island and into the workshop of Wanda, with an A, the weaponsmith herself. Once we get there, we'll need to interact with this skull to open this door that will lead us into the inner portion of Wanda's secret lair. Following more footprints, we'll eventually come across another memory of the masked stranger, this time peering into the open box of wondrous secrets. After she has a little bit of a conversation with, well, I won't tell you who, we'll find another trail of footprints that lead back out of the cave structure, around the corner to the south, and up into the interior of the island. We'll want to stop at this crossroads because, that's right, there's a second journal right here, just at the foot of these two palm trees, up against this rock. Once we've read the journal, we can continue up this hill and around the corner, where we'll find yet another memory, this time of the masked assailant digging. It's time to put that trusty shovel to work. A couple shovelfuls of earth, and we've found another set of journal pages, which will set us off on the next leg of our adventure. This time, we have 2 pages, 2 paths, the Forked Conduit and the Fallen Lord. Let's take them left to right. The Forked Conduit indicates that we're looking for a set of islands that are southwest of the Treasury of Sunken Shores. Looking at the map, there's only one thing this could be, so off to Sailor's Bounty we go. When we arrive at Sailor's Bounty, we're going to land on the southern beach in the center island, the largest of the 3 islands, where we'll find, once again, the memory of the rowboat, the set of footprints that we can follow, and follow we will, being sure to stop at these piles of skulls to collect the 3rd journal. The trail of footprints will lead us up and over this hill and towards this sunken central part of the island. Descending carefully, we'll come across another memory. It looks like some other masked individuals have found some sort of a staff or a trident of some kind. Once we've listened to everything they have to say, some phantoms are going to appear and attack us. Now, the good news is these phantoms are like the Seafort phantoms. They're of the easy variety. They'll only take 1 bullet or a couple of sword slashes to dispatch, and they don't really pose much of a challenge. Once they've all been dispatched, we'll receive more tattered journal pages. And we can see that it's been updated. The Forked Conduit is now crossed completely out. It's time for us to continue on the part of the adventure known as the Fallen Lord. Now, looking closely at the Fallen Lord, it tells us that we need to find the Coral Fortress and then a sandy trio somewhere to the southwest. Well, that's got to be Salty Sands. So, to Salty Sands we sail, against the wind if you're anything like me. Once again, landing on the southern beach, on the larger of the 3 islands, we'll find this rowboat, a trail of footprints, and if we stop just before we leave this island and look to the right, once again, up against a rock, another journal. That should be 4 in all. Once we've read the journal, we can move across the little land bridge that connects the 2 islands here. And in the middle of this clearing on the other island, we'll find another memory. This time, it looks like the phantoms have found the skull of the gold hoarder. What can they be planning to do with this?
Be sure to bring her to this exact spot.
We don't have much time to think about it, though, because as soon as the memory fades, we're attacked by more phantoms. Don't worry, they're just as easy as the ones we fought before. When the last one drops, it leaves behind Phantom's orders, which in turn adds pages to our tattered journal. This time it looks like they've taken the mystic from Golden Sands and hidden her someplace. The Eastern Isle, but I recognize that rock structure. That can only be the overhang on Cannon Cove. It's just a little way south of us. Once we arrive at Cannon Cove, our best place to park is going to be in the cove itself. You can see from this vantage point, that overhang that we're looking for. It's a pretty prominent landmark. Raising our lantern, it takes only a very little bit of looking around before we find that rowboat we've come to know so well. Up and around the corner we go, stopping at the camp to find the last of our journals, right up against this little bench here around the campfire. And then up and into the interior of the island, just underneath the overhang of that mighty rock precipice, we'll find another memory. It looks like the staff has now been completed by these mysterious phantoms, with the perhaps unwilling help of the mystic from Golden Sands. No surprise that we're attacked again once this memory has been completed. And once we've dispatched all of the phantoms there, we find another set of phantoms' orders. This time, when we look at the tattered journal, we can see that we need to go to talk to the weaponsmith at New Golden Sands Outpost. That's Wanda with an O, in case you weren't keeping track. The sister of Wanda with an A. Talking to Wanda, she doesn't seem particularly interested in getting involved in any of this business. The note that she was brought, in fact, she's thrown out. Fortunately for us, it hasn't blown away. It's right outside her stall here by this supporting pillar. When we pick it up, we're given a prompt to return to Belle with all of the clues that we've gathered. And taking a quick peek at the note, we see that it seems to be threatening, and, well, that's a familiar symbol. Best that we get this to Belle as quickly as possible. So back to K9 we go. Belle is happy to see the restored journal and gives us an idea of where the killer might be. That's Sea Dog Tavern, fortunately not too far away from where we are now. Belle agrees to meet us at the Sea Dog Tavern and, well, she chooses to use her own method of conveyance. Sailing to Sea Dog Tavern, we're looking for the smaller of the piers that's here just at this little rock structure. As we approach, we see there's a figure with some sort of glowing device on the dock itself. And as we approach that figure, we can see it's the staff that's been assembled in all of the memories that we've seen. Here comes the spoiler alert, and I'm sorry, but there's no way to avoid it, because from here on out, it doesn't take us very long to find out the identity of the masked assailant. I mean, to be honest, she just gives it to us. That's right. It's Amaranta from the Sea Dogs. It seems that she's been in some trouble ever since DeMarco died. People seem to have blamed her for it, although she denies that she's culpable. Just in the nick of time, Belle arrives in her signature fashion, and the two of them have a bit of a confrontation. I won't play it all for you here, but suffice it to say that it doesn't go the way we'd like, and we don't end up with Merrick at the end of the day.
We can't leave him to the Dark Brethren. I just need to find out where they're keeping him. Not to mention that scepter. Amaranta may think she's won, but this is very far.
Vowing to see to it that this isn't the end, Belle disappears to the depths once again. And we have completed the Forsaken Hunter adventure, along with all 5 of the journals. So, that's it. What do you think? Have you played the adventure yet? Are you planning to? If you did play it, did you enjoy it? Did you think it was too long, too short? Were you like me and thought that there would be a big showdown battle at the end and you didn't get it? Let me know in the comments below. This is my first guide, but it won't be the last, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say. But until the next guide, I hope to see you on the Sea of Thieves.